It's 8 a.m. Sarah is sitting at her kitchen table, staring down a fresh to-do list, ready to conquer the world. Today is the day she nails it. She's going to eat a healthy salad for lunch, keep her phone on silent, and finally crush that massive Q3 spreadsheet. She makes a quiet promise to herself. She is going to try harder today. She is going to buckle down, ignore the distractions, and force herself to stay focused. But this morning routine relies on a massive miscalculation. It assumes the intense motivation she feels right now will stay at this exact peak level for the next 8 hours. Cut to 2 p.m. The motivation is gone. Sarah is slumped over her keyboard, completely drained of energy. The spreadsheet sits empty. Instead, she is deep into a social media scroll, mindlessly pulling chips out of a bag. The guilt sets in immediately. She tells herself she's lazy. She assumes this failure is a fundamental flaw in her own character. She believes she is failing because she lacks discipline, but she is completely misdiagnosing the root cause of her problem. The idea that you need heroic discipline to succeed is a cultural myth. Psychological research actually shows something entirely different. People who appear to have incredible self-control do not possess supernatural restraint. They simply engineer their lives so they spend very little time in tempting situations. In 1936, psychologist Kurt Lewin wrote a simple equation to explain this. B equals F of P, E. Behavior is a function of the person in their environment. What we do is not driven purely by our internal drive. It is heavily dictated by the external spaces we occupy. If you try to use self-control to resist temptation inside a poorly designed workspace, you are playing a losing game. Relying on willpower is a short-term strategy. Let's look at Sarah's 2 p.m. slump again. Forget her internal motivation for a second, and just look at the physical room. The chips sit in plain sight. Her phone rests by her keyboard. These are immediate behavioral triggers. Our brains use a dopamine-driven feedback loop. Seeing that phone spikes her dopamine, creating an instant craving to pick it up. These visual cues initiate her habits automatically, long before she even has a chance to consciously think about what she is doing. Sarah isn't failing because she lacks drive. She is failing because her physical environment is a perfectly engineered trap that forces her brain onto autopilot. Instead of trying to power through her fatigue, Sarah decides to apply the first law of behavior change to her workspace. To break a bad habit, invert the law, make the cue invisible. And to build a good habit, you do the exact opposite, make the cue obvious. She places a large, bright water bottle and a bowl of healthy snacks directly in the center of her desk. Then she adds severe friction to her worst habit. She physically removes her phone and plugs it into a charger in a completely different room to break the doom-scrolling cue. By altering her physical space, she completely eliminates the need for willpower. The sensory cues for bad behavior simply do not exist in her environment anymore. The next day, 2 p.m. rolls around. The inevitable afternoon energy slump still arrives right on schedule. Sarah looks around for a distraction. But the friction to fail is now too high. There is no phone within reach and no junk food to catch her eye. Following the path of least resistance, she takes a drink of water and continues typing. It is simply the easiest action available to her. You have to become the architect of your environment, not the victim of it. Because when your surroundings are designed correctly, good choices become inevitable.